Hi guys, welcome to the channel and welcome to the garage. We have our 2009 BMW K1300S in the shop today. We're going to do some modifications. First, let me tell you a little bit about this bike. We've owned this bike since new. This is a great motorcycle, 176 horsepower sport tour. Basically, it's just a long wheelbase, big sport bike that you can travel on. It comes with luggage. We have a tank bag, a tail pack, the whole 9 yards, everything we need to go touring on this bike. My wife and I have put about 25,000 miles on this bike, but there's always been one thing that kind of bothered me with this bike, and that is the level of quietness or lack thereof of this bike. And I'm not talking about the exhaust. This has wonderful sounding stock exhaust still on the bike. The engine is quiet. It's the wind noise, guys. Has always bothered me on this bike. I've tried an MRA variable spoiler windscreen, which turned out to be worse than the factory screen. And I would like to do some moto vlogging now that the cameras, the action cameras are really getting good, and the audio that you can get in helmet is getting really good, but it's ruined by buffeting and turbulence and wind noise. And I tried this windscreen just recently. This is a zero gravity sport touring windscreen, not their tallest. This is between their tall touring and their double bubble, and only marginally better. So I got to thinking, just a couple weeks ago, we had the opportunity to visit the BMW MOA National Rally in Lebanon, Tennessee. Had a great time. There's a video on our channel of that rally if you'd like to check it out. It's a fun watch. It was a great time. But I signed up to take a demo ride on the BMW M1000R, their big, powerful, naked bike. And what I noticed on that bike while I was riding it is this is really quiet. I'm not getting any wind noise really to speak of. I can hear everything really well that's going on around me, and it's not wind noise. And another thing too is when I'm testing windscreens for this bike, one of the things I do is stand up on the pegs while I'm riding, because it's always quieter. Yeah, right? You stand up on the pegs, you're way above the shield or the screen, and the ride gets quieter, which is super disappointing when you sit back down and you're back in the noise. Not the way it should be. So, I had an idea. Let's cut this zero gravity windscreen down as far as we possibly can and still make it look good. In fact, I think it's going to look pretty killer when I show you what we're going to do, and I hope it does when we get the finished product. Let's talk about this helmet for just a second. This is my Schuber C3 Pro. This is my latest go-to helmet. And these helmets, if you're not familiar with the Schuber helmets, these are pretty high-tech helmets, guys. This is a modular. It's got the anti-fog insert inside the shield. So I'm already looking through two pieces of plastic, and the last thing I want to do is really make this higher and be looking through a third piece of plastic. I don't like it. I don't want to look through a windshield. You know, I don't want to say it's bad enough that I have to look through the visor, because this is a really good visor, and if you keep it clean, there's no issues. This helmet also has the built-in sunshade, which is great. You don't have to wear sunglasses in your helmet. But these helmets are designed in a wind tunnel, and when they design these helmets, they do not design these helmets behind a windscreen. Oh no, these are designed out in the airstream, okay? So these helmets are designed to be quietest when they're out in the air. So with my recent experience with the M1000R and standing up on the pegs and having the noise level go way down, I got to thinking, you know, maybe the windscreen is the problem. So we're going to cut this down. We're going to show you the process of how we do it. And we're going to show you the results. We're going to put the camera on, do the audio. We're going to take you guys for a ride. Hopefully it's going to be a big improvement and we can start doing some moto vlogging on some trips, because that would be really cool with the Insta360 X5, which is what we're using right now. It has kind of become my go-to camera. Excellent camera, great action camera, and they actually make an adapter where you can run the X5 horizontally, which is pretty neat. But now that this is taller, the X5 now is looking through, because it's a chin mount, the X5 is looking through the screen. That's not great. So we're going to cut this down. If the results are really good, we may buy this in a tinted version. I am not big on tinted windscreens, but because this is going to be a minimal size windscreen, I think it would look good in a dark tint. But we'll see what happens. We need to mask it off. We need to get a design on there. We need to cut it. We need to sand it. We need to polish it. And then we need to remount it and we need to test it. So that's what's going on, guys. We're gonna cut this down to the bare minimum, just so it covers maybe a 1/4 inch above the instrument cluster, to just give that some coverage, and then that is it. I'm going to say we're going to take a good 12 to 13 inches off of this screen. So it's going to look good, I think. If it's going to work, I don't know yet. We're going to find out. But the goal is, let this Huber C3 Pro do its job without any additional turbulence or wind buffeting being created by a screen that, who knows, who knows what kind of testing. The quality's okay, but how much wind tunnel testing was done with this screen on a K1300S, in a wind tunnel situation? Maybe there was, maybe there wasn't. All I know is, no matter what screen I buy or try, I can't get a quiet ride on this K bike, and that is my goal, because I love this bike. I want to continue to enjoy the bike, and I'd like to do some moto vlogging to bring some K bike experiences to my viewers. So here we go. Wish me luck. Okay, guys, so as you can see, we have our windscreen masked off. And I'm going to go in for a close-up so you can see our line right there. And the first thing you have to do is find your center line and determine how far down you want to cut your screen. In my case, it was just about 6 1/4 inches from the very bottom tip of the screen. I used a piece of twine, taped it to the underside of the screen on the center line. Put a small metal washer on the end and used just a regular ink pen. Keep tension on the line with one hand and just run your pen right along. Now, this isn't going to work out in every case. I just happen to have enough screen to where I got a nice, steady, even radius from one side of the screen to the other side, and I left a little meat on the shield at the very end, and we're going to put a nice curve, a little radius on that point right there. So the next step is to get our Dremel out with a cutting wheel and start cutting. Okay, guys, just a simple Dremel with a cut-off wheel. Take small steps. I'm going to leave about 3/16 space between my line and the cut, and we're going to show you how we get that a little closer after we make our initial cut. So guys, check it out. What a drastic difference. We've taken a full 12 inches of height off of this zero gravity sport touring windscreen, and it's definitely a radical departure from the usual look of a K1300S. I will give you a shot here from the side. I don't not like it. I kind of like it. I kind of do like it. Of course, it's not finished yet. We have to finish the edge up to see what it's really going to look like and get the masking off. But I will say it's going to make a difference, for better or for worse. There's going to be a difference. I'll give you a shot from the cockpit here. As you can see, here's the top of our instrument bindle right here. So it's just past that. And that's the look that I was going for. I didn't want to go any lower than that. We may be able to go a little bit lower, but we've got our radius. And this is going to tell us if we are definitely headed in the right direction or not. So what we're going to do is, using our Dremel with our little sanding drum, and that's going to work us right to the line, and then we're going to hand sand and polish it the rest of the way. Okay guys, the moment of truth is here. We've got the windscreen completed, and we're going to gear up and take this for a test drive, and we're going to take you guys along too to see if these results are good, bad, ugly, whatever. The bright side is, if it's horrible, we still have the stock windscreen that we can put back on and return it to as new condition. Before we gear up and go for a ride, I'm going to give you a close-up of this and show you how we finished it off. I'm pretty happy with it, actually. Let's check it out. So it's kind of tough to see because it is clear, but there's the finished product. And I'm going to call this the Speedster screen. You can see that if you look straight down on the gauges, that covers it about 1/4 of an inch past the gauge bindle. So after the Dremel cutoff wheel and the Dremel sanding drum, we started with 150 grit hand sandpaper, went to 220 to 400 to 800, and then 1500 dry sand on the edge of the screen. And you could take it a step further and use some plastic polish. And I know there's a process where you can flame these edges, but I'm pretty happy with the way it looks right now. And as you can see, like I said, we left a little meat on the screen at the very end. I didn't want to bring it to a sharp point, and it kind of mimics the factory fairing, what we have there on both sides. So I think that looks pretty good. I think the clear makes it kind of look a little factory. We took a full 12 inches off of that zero gravity sport touring screen. And we're definitely going to be in the wind, for better or for worse. But this gives the K1300S a super sporty look to it. And like I said, I like it. It's growing on me. If it achieves the purpose of getting a quiet ride, it's definitely going to be a win. And then we'll decide what we're going to do. BMW actually makes a factory tinted screen that may look good because it's got some extra detail in this area, and it's got the BMW logo embossed on it. So that may look cool. The light tint with the black here may look good, but for now, we have to take it for a ride and see if it works. All right, guys, we're all geared up, and we've got the helmet audio video system rolling. We are using the Insta360 X5 in 5.7K 30 frames, USB to a Mayono T5 Wave microphone system that connects wirelessly from the in-helmet mic to the USB dongle on the Insta360 X5. Let's see what happens. Maybe do some highway work. We'll see how this goes. So far, I can tell you that I like not having that big screen sticking up. I'm gonna have a better picture of the road directly in front of me, although, as we know, that's not where you're always looking when you ride. You want to look ahead where you want to go, and that's where you will go. But sometimes in tight stuff, when the road isn't perfect, you do want to get a good read on the road surface in front of you, and this cut down windscreen will do that. It will help you see the road better. Another added benefit I'm hoping for with this cut down screen is the fact that I should get more wind blast on my body, which will take some weight off of my wrists at moderate speeds. So let's go. Let's see what happens. We have the visor open at the moment. Get some fresh air. It is a hot one today, and it is humid. We are at 35 miles an hour with our visor fully open, just to get cooled off a little bit. Right away, my first impressions are really good. I like the view that I'm getting. With this cut down screen, too early to tell too much about wind noise. But the goal is to get the helmet up in the flow. I have the visor down, but in position 1, just to get a little bit of airflow, and that feels really good. And the curiosity has gotten the best of me. We're going to get up on a little bit faster of a road here. We're going to take a ride up the hill and see what we can find out about this screen.
Visor is down, and we're at 50 miles an hour, and first impressions are very, very good. I can hear a little bit of wind. Mostly the noise is coming off of my shoulders. A little bit of a wind blast from oncoming traffic. The air is pretty still looking at all these trees. It doesn't look like we have a lot of wind. Stand up. See, this is crazy. No difference when I stood up from sitting down. That tells me that the helmet is doing its job. In fact, a little quieter sitting down, which wasn't the case before. We're at about 60 miles an hour right now, and I gotta tell you, I'm gonna call this a success already. This is noticeably quieter on the helmet. I'm not getting the wind noise on the helmet that I was with any shield that I've had on this bike previously. And I'm gonna stand up on the pegs at 60. Yeah, nice. Okay, let's turn it up a little bit. I'm at 95 miles an hour, and I can hear some wind noise, mainly on my body, like my arms and shoulders, but I'm also getting that extra wind blast that is taking weight off of my wrists at this speed. I'm at 85 miles an hour. And I got to tell you, I like it. I'm not getting the wind turbulence around the helmet that I was before with the taller shields. I'm going to stand up at 90. Yeah, no real difference at 90 as far as the noise, the wind noise, standing up versus sitting down. We got to get out of this lane because that left lane's got frost heaves in it like you wouldn't believe. That's the worst thing about Pennsylvania is our freeze-thaw cycles are really harsh in the wintertime, and it ruins the roads, as you can see to my left. Really nice and clean air. I mean, I'm just super happy with the results on this. I just, every once in a while you have an idea, and it looks like we had a good one this time. And that doesn't happen very often. I hate to say that, but experimentation is what it is. And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. And when it does, it feels real good because, you know, everybody wants to sell you this windscreen and that windscreen, and lo and behold, we cut the thing off and I'm getting a better ride than I've ever have on this bike. And I don't think there's anything, in fact, I know there's nothing I'm going to be able to do about the wind noise from my shoulders. It is what it is. But the helmet is a lot quieter. All right, guys, that was a nice little test up that mountain road. We had to get some fuel. Now we're going to take it out on the highway to see what happens. Wow, I'm really impressed. I gotta tell you, I am really impressed with how quiet this helmet is without that windscreen on. Basically, we took the windscreen off. And it is quiet in here.
Well, guys, that's going to do it for this video. I'm going to call this a win for sure. We've gotten multiple benefits from cutting this windscreen down. Number one, we're getting a quieter ride. Number two, I'm getting more wind blast on my upper body, which is going to take some weight off of my wrists on this bike, which is also going to give me extra cooling to the body and through the leathers. So we're going to call this a triple win. If you've got a K1300S and you've had this problem, this could be your solution depending on what kind of helmet you wear and how tall you are. I am 5'9" and I'm wearing a very good helmet. This may help you, it may not. It all depends on your situation. If you have other motorcycles similar to this where you think the ride is noisier than what maybe it should be, this may be a solution for you. In any event, don't be afraid to experiment with your windscreen. That's the big takeaway from this video. Don't be afraid to experiment. If you don't want to cut up your stock windscreen, get an aftermarket replacement and play with that and see what you can come up with. Maybe take a little bit off at a time, maybe work your way down. We didn't do that here. We went for the money right away, and I'm happy that we did. Possibly a fourth benefit is the fact that I think this bike looks really racy with that cut down screen. I showed a couple people and they feel the same way. The bike looks a lot sportier with this screen cut down than the big tall screen. So if you like this video, if it helped you out in any way, give me a thumbs up. Think about subscribing. We're going to try to keep the moto, off-road, and camping videos coming your way. Until next time, see ya.